Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and today we're on holiday over on Gamefound with Purple Haze. Now, this is very, very, very exciting. It is. But before we talk about this, let me just tell you about my radio show that went out the weekend. It's called Broadcast. It's 50% board game news and 50% music, and it's made for people like you if you're watching this video. So check out the eye above and you can get the trailer for it, tell you what's on the show, and it's fantastic to listen to if you are cooking on the road or whatever you're doing on the desktop. Basically, it's a fantastic radio show. I hope you really enjoy it. Anyhow, Purple Haze. What's this then? It's an RPG Boardgame. It's got 18 plus here. And it really, if this game is 18 plus because of the narrative, like, shouldn't books be rated? Like, totally should be, shouldn't they? Books should definitely have age ratings on them. You can go into a book as a 14-year-old and buy the most graphic novels. I mean, graphic in sexual nature or horror. And they don't flap an eyelid, do they? Needs to be addressed, maybe. But here they've put it on just to let you know. And it is nice that they're doing it because there's potential naughty, bad stuff happening here. Anyhow, so what is it then? Well, it's a campaign game. It's like choose your own adventure with a bit of maybe on that, because time is a factor. You might actually have to, you might get a place late and that forces you down a branch that you've not necessarily chosen. So it's like that. And there's encounter decks and you're going to be rolling dice. Your rookies level up. And you're going to be doing dice rolls against the checks. There's combat dice roll, and there's so much excitingness going on here. And trust me, when you watch the playthrough videos, you're going to be like, oh, it looks so good. Now, if there's one thing I would like it to be better, is the map to be bigger. It's kind of a smaller map here, and if you're playing with more people around a table, that'll be kind of awkward, just a little bit. The big side of the map here is tracking all the stuff that's going on, which is like the time, the stress, energy levels, and your initiative path. This kind of thing. It is nice though, because you've got this nice party of Marines that will be leveling up through the course of the game. Now, it says it's going to be an immersive story creation game, 1 to 4 players, and it does sound like a phenomenal solo game. This is why it's got me excited, but totally would be good bringing somebody into this to play 3 characters. And all the characters have their different stats, and when they level up, they'll get more, they'll get better and stuff like this. Now, it says it's 1967. That's before my time. In fact, I only know Vietnam through movies. And I guess that's okay, because this is bringing off the back of them, your rookie soldiers trying to do your missions. A 12-hour campaign, which is going to be glorious, especially as these characters are going to be leveling up and continuing the roleplay path through the whole campaign. And the encounter decks between the 12 chapters is different as well, so you were not going to see stuff potentially in any one playthrough, so there's good replayability here, peeps. Now, this mini you get in here is rather nice. It's because you've got a token on it if you get the retail, but I mean, you could get one from a shop, right, for pennies. But I guess this is nice. it would be nicer if they made it bigger, I guess, so it kind of does not have competition with ones you buy in a shop. I don't know, should it be big? Anyhow, the base pledge here is nice because you're making a big saving of $30. In fact, I think, is there a saving when you back $5? Anyhow, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it is a $5 because my pledge here is 60 and it's 65 here, so you can come here and get a discount if you're quick about it. So yeah, 35 now, 35 euros saving I've made. The mini though here grey, down here looks like it's going to be green, so yeah, nice. And the base should be big enough obviously to fit on the board. The expansion we'll look at down there. How is it different than the campaign? Now for language support, they need 150 backers from that region. Well, I'm in Mexico, but I want the English edition. But you could give me a +1 to the Spanish, I guess. Spanish language. Now the only Kickstarter exclusive per se is the mini. Now the stretch goals are going to be going, yes, but we'll see. Now what's very exciting is that the map is double-sided and we're getting 4 of them. They're going to be, the encounter cards are basically with the maps themselves, so you might, if you're on the same area, you might have that deck still, I'm guessing, because the encounter cards, they do have like episode numbers on them, what I've noticed. Now, 10 soldier cards, that's potentially going to offer a new, more. If you played again, you can play a different soldier. The VC cards, they are basically your combat cards. You've got event cards, specialization cards. These are 16 types of upgrading, and 7 weapons, 12 search cards, injuries if you start taking damage, and you can get mental disorder cards here because there's going to be some 18+ rated stuff that could actually harm the minds of your people. I like that aspect of my roleplays. Yeah, so lots of tokens that's going on, loads of grenades and stuff like this. This would be nice if it could get upgraded, I guess, too. You could put these into little minis instead of these tokens, that'd be nice. And the dice are looking a little bit standard at the minute. That would be nice to get them done as well. So what happens is we'll see this. You're moving on the board and you're going to be rolling threat and things like this. And it's funny because here they say mission booklet. They don't kind of stress the mission booklet. It's not like it should have like a detailed stuff about this, because that's the big thing. You are going to be taking pencil notes and things like this during the campaign. Postcards look, I mean, the art looks fantastic. Really, really does look nice. Now the tunnel rat here, instead of having the chapters, then it has a scenario booklet. So this, I don't know if you can play this as a side mission or you can just play it as like a one-off. Hopefully it is a side mission because there's 8 more specialization cards to upgrade. There's a poker card deck in here, I don't know what that's for. And more event cards. And so yeah, how does this fit in? That's kind of what we're hoping to find out on an update, as they, of course, will talk about this Tunnel Rat expansion. Right, so when you move on the map, you are going... Move, come on. I wish this was just so you could bring it back and forward. You're going to move on the map. That's going to take time. It's going to take energy. And potentially your threat dice gets rolled here And when the threat goes to the max, that's when you'll have combat, which is nice and juicy. You can do certain things in the adventure though that pull the threat back a bit, and but it is going to be inevitable, isn't it? When you move on the map though, you can move diagonally, and because there's 2 icons on each grid, and the first icon is if you move orthogonally, and diagonally you choose the second one. And for example, you might want to go diagonal instead of going over the mountains, because the mountains takes more time. Although it says if you go through jungle, that is 5 on energy to go through jungle, so you might want to go mountains anyway. Although, you know, you do have mission tokens and stuff that you're going to be putting on the map, so you will probably going to try and course your way around it best way you can, so it's going to be interesting. Yeah, so the encounter decks. This game is heavy on iconography, like heavy. There is a player aid, which is really nice. When you do get completely tired though, you are going to be forced to camp. And yeah, I think the iconography is like, there's a lot of it, but it's fairly easy to kind of grasp. Now, so this is the story event that's coming from the book, isn't it? It's going into the book. They've gone to the number 1 token on the map, and they've got a choice to do one or the other, and there's some dice testing rolls and stuff like this. So that's kind of the role-playing adventure that you're on. So yeah, you roll in that threat die, and eventually you will have combat. Dun, 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 dun. I like how the initiative rolls, because you can do stuff that doesn't cause initiative, like sneaking around, but as soon as you start firing your gun, that will move the initiative track more over to the red, meaning it's the enemy's turn, and if they do some loud bangy stuff, that will push initiative back to you. So it is kind of cool how the initiative works, back and forth, tug of war. Injuries, yeah, I love these wound cards. They're like these X-ray cards. You'll see it come onto this screen. It's very cool. Bang! Ooh, a dislocated shoulder or something like this. Now there's quick play guide, which is like the first entry mission where you're playing the recruits, and you can play it on Tabletop Simulator if you want to get a personal feel, but it's an abstractation that you must understand. Mark Street does a great job of talking about the game. You can get the official blurb from Phalanx themselves, which... No, this is Bonding with Board Games. So yeah, you've got lots of, I guess, YouTube channels here that specialise in war games, so you can get that in, which is fairly interesting as you're getting... because this is such a fresh take on the war genre, that it really, if you love your war games, this is going to be like a shoe-in for you, big time. Now, shipping, it says, shipping costs will be added to your pledge in the pledge manager. Before that, manager is closed. It's just strange English, that, isn't it? It's basically, shipping will be paid in the pledge manager. That's how to say it very succinct. Now, USA, most states $15, Canada $15. Where's your Mexico? There's lots of expat board games here, don't you know? And surely not Latin America. We are not Latin America. We are Mexico. We're in North America continent. We are in the USMCA. But even if I factor in the Latin America shipping of $50, the saving I'm making on the game covers the shipping from getting it at retail. So worst case scenario, I think it's balanced out. Now, it's a big team on this, actually, and you can see quite a lot of people have been on this, and generally when you're doing a role-playing game, it does take a larger team, especially to balance it all out and do all the branching storylines and all that stuff. It is a 2023 game as well, so that is coming. But the fact that you've got playthrough videos is fantastic. I think that they can do more spotlights on the updates coming through, and I'll have to completely do a final thoughts on that when we learn more about it, especially the expansion you're getting in on the pledge. It says 1% of the funds collected during the campaign will be donated to the Vietnam War History Foundation. Who are you? So yeah, there's a 1% of your pledge going to charity. So all that good stuff. Alright, so stretch goals, what's going on? Well, are there any? There's not even a stretch goal button on the left here for Gamefound, and it's a little bit worrying that they couldn't make the dice better. You know, they couldn't have updated the components for the ammunition. There's no mention of it, is there? Anything of stretch goals, like. Normally they have to completely say that. So the question is, are we going to see updates when it starts getting more money? Will they start revealing stuff on the secret? Or are they waiting for it to get funded before they express stretch goals? We've seen that before. They don't want to put stretch goals out depending on how well it does on the first day. But Purple Haze then, looking really, really cool. RPG in the Vietnam jungle. 12-hour campaign with an expansion. That's a little bit of a mystery at the minute, so that's why I'll have to come back and tell you about that. We should expect that definitely in the updates through the campaign. It's a nice 21-day campaign, and it's certainly got the legs, but it's got some wee time to go yet, because there was only the Dice Tower video, which was kind of a popular Kickstarter channel. I think the rest are smaller channels, and it's a shame that it's not getting the coverage it deserves, because it's looking like a really neat choose your own adventure RPG, level up your Marines and play this fascinating campaign, which can be completely replayable as well. Sounds really, really cool, Purple Haze. Just your understanding, peeps, RPGs, I love them when they breach over into board games, and this looks really, really cool. And one of the things you'll notice in the playthroughs is that people do stress the fact that you really feel like the characters you're playing, you really feel like you are them, and they feel very important for you, and you don't want them to die, basically. There is a weight to death in this, which you may experience if you're playing a video game and stuff like this. When you start playing a war game, the characters you're playing, you suddenly get banded into that. I don't know. It's a really interesting how your brain kind of merges into the scene with these RPGs, and when it's war, it's like a feeling you won't get in any other genres of RPG. So yeah, and especially if you start playing some of the emotive music that's come from the Vietnam movies. Oh my god, it's going to be an incredible evening, isn't it, for Purple Haze? And just look at this art. They really should do a competition. Vote. Do you want the Purple Haze, that one, or do you want the second one? Because that looks awesome too, doesn't it? Maybe they should do a Kickstarter sleeve and let people choose one way or the other. But anyway, Purple Haze, peeps, this is looking phenomenal. We'll have to see what's coming out this week, but it's definitely contender for Kickstarter of the week for me because, oh my god, this is ultra back for me. And I know the team here at Kickstarter Radio kind of didn't notice how amazing this is, but I put in the research for this one and I know how incredible it really is. So, oh man, Purple Haze knocked it out the park. Do we recommend it? Absolutely do. And it's going to be a joy to find out these updates on more about the expansion and more about this massive campaign book. So peeps, take a look at Purple Haze. The link for the Gamefound will be in the description, as all our videos have the links to the Kickstarter or Gamefounds in the description. So anyway, peeps, man, we've got a war game. How do you feel about war games? How do you feel about RPGs? We've got a nice crossover here. I think it's going to be the bomb when it comes out, and oh yes. And what do you think about this 18 plus rating? Should books also get age rated? I'm hashtag age rating for books, I guess, right? So anyway, if you want to support the channel, please leave a like on the video, and I have to give another final mention for my radio show that went out on Sunday. Amazing show with some incredible music, and you will get the podcast link in the description below. But you know, it's not a podcast, it's 50% music. It feels like a radio show, and I succinctly tell you about the games I covered that week. So it's like an incredible show, peeps. You need to check out that radio show if you love crowdfunding board games. Well, peeps, thank you so much for watching. This has been incredible coming over to Gamefound today, and wow, Purple Haze, you got me under my skin and all that jazz. So thank you again. This has been Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.